Alright, so in this lecture I really briefly want to show you how you can get free and very, very cheap shipping supplies so that you can ship products out if you're using TikTok Shop and you're using their label. Very, very cheap, if not completely free. Alright, so if you're using priority mail in your TikTok Shop, and these are going to be options available to you like we've covered in the shipping settings. If you're using priority mail, then it's not that much more expensive. I think it's like $7 or $8 in the TikTok app most of the times, depending on how large your actual item is. And the normal shipping is like $7 as well, so you're really only paying like $1 upgrade fee for priority mail. It'll get to your customer a lot faster, they'll be a lot happier, you'll get a lot better reviews, and ultimately it can make for just a better shopping experience that they'll come back or tell other people about. So if you're using priority mail, then a way that you can get free boxes to actually ship out on are go to USPS.com, go to Quick Tools, hover over and go to free boxes. And as long as you're using these for priority mail, you can get these delivered directly to your house or your apartment completely free. They'll tell you the dimensions of each one and what they specifically are. Order a bunch of these to you for free, and then you'll have a bunch of shipping supplies that you can then utilize to ship products out completely free. Now, I usually go with like the large boxes. I'll also do a couple of the smaller boxes, and one of the ones that I really like are the envelopes as well as the padded mailers. Where are the padded mailers? Oh, there we go, right there. The padded envelope, the normal envelope, the large boxes, and some of the other ones. But you can really go with any of the ones that you see here. There's a bunch of tabs. The only thing I will say about this is only use the red ones. See how these ones are like the red lines? Do not use the blue line ones like these because these are Priority Mail Express. You do not want to use those. You will be charged extra for those. So use the ones in the red with the red lines, and any of the ones that are just Priority Mail normal with the red lines, you can utilize, order to your house or apartment completely free, and then use without having to spend a dime on shipping supplies. Now, if for whatever reason you're not doing that, the cheapest method that I've found is using polymailers. So if you go to Amazon, you can search for polymailers, and there's a number of different sizes. I'd go with the biggest one because you can always fold it a little bit smaller if you want to. So for example, this one I believe is like 100 of them for $17. There we go, 100 pack, and you can even make them bigger if you want, so you can get like super big. And at this price, like 100 of these for $17 comes out to 17 cents per polymailer. So it's not really costing you much to ship something out. It's literally 17 cents to package it up and drop it off, obviously not counting the shipping charge, okay? So these are the two easiest and cost-effective ways, obviously free and cheap ways that I found to ship products out. Hope it helps. So this is how you're going to fulfill an order on your TikTok Shop. Now you'll notice that on your homepage, it'll tell you when you have an order, it will pop up. Also, if you go to your orders tab and manage orders, you can check on all your orders, you can check on all your returns as well, and anything that's been shipped, anything that you need to ship, and any canceled orders, etc. Right? Now you'll see here that if you click and hover over this, you can print the label directly, and that will allow you to print the label. It will also allow you to print the packing slip. You want to take that label and take that packing slip and save it so that when the product shows up at your house, because again, you're ordering this product specifically to your house, then you're going to use this label and this packing slip and ship it out to the customer, all right? If you click on the order number right here and you hover over it, it's clickable. That's going to take you into the order. It's going to tell you exactly who the buyer is, how much you made, the certain fees associated with the order. Obviously, the customer information is blurred out here, but you can copy it if you need to, and anything else associated with this, right? So when was it ordered? When do you need to specifically ship it by? What's the status of the order, right? Is it awaiting processing? Is it awaiting collection? Has it been delivered? Is it in transit currently? And then obviously like what the payment method of the buyer is, etc., etc. So once you print that label out, then it's going to change from awaiting processing to awaiting carrier pickup. So as soon as your carrier, whether that's USPS that you chose, UPS that you chose, or FedEx that you chose, as soon as they scan it in, then it will turn into in transit. And so you need to hit these certain parameters by the set dates. It's not ridiculously hard. You just kind of have to be on top of it, and you have to use suppliers that are going to deliver to you within 2 to 3 days so that you can then drop it back off and ship it out using the TikTok Shop label, all right? It's very easy. It's dropship arbitrage in a nutshell. So again, when you got this order, depending on what this order was from, and again, you should only have like 5 to 10 products in your TikTok Shop at once. You should not have more than that. This is not a place where you can really do the volume approach and have a bunch of different listings, because if you have a bunch of different listings, it's actually going to be detrimental to you, and it's not going to make you look trustworthy. You only need a few different items that are all around the same niche, and then use your TikTok page that's based in that niche to then push entertainment, tutorial videos, whatever, to grow that page around that niche so that then you can sprinkle in some product videos in there and get some buyers that way. That's the formula. That's how you do it. And so when you get this order, you'll be able to see under items what this actually is for, and then you just go to your supplier, be that Amazon or Walmart or wherever, order that product to you, and then when it comes to you, ship it out with a label and put the packing slip in the package. There's two ways to sell to customers on a TikTok shop. The first is to actually have the products on hand, then list it to TikTok shops, and then when you get the sale, you just ship it out with a TikTok label, just like you would with a normal e-commerce business. And the second is to drop ship the product. Now, I personally drop ship on many platforms, especially TikTok shop, and there's actually two ways that you can effectively do this as well. So first and foremost is a simple method that I use on these sites like Poshmark and OfferUp, where you actually need to use their labels to ship, and it's kind of a drop shipping hybrid that I like to call drop ship arbitrage. Essentially, it works like this. It's very simple. So you go ahead and you list the products from any website that will deliver to your house or to your apartment within 3 days. That way, on TikTok specifically, you can still ship it out with a TikTok label to customers, because on TikTok you need to ship within 3 days, or at least have the logistics partners scan it in within 3 days. This is going to allow you all the benefits of drop shipping and the ability to list products before ever having to purchase them, and then only needing to order the product after you're already guaranteed the sale and guaranteed the profit. It is a little bit more legwork, but if you're using the label for that platform, or specifically for like Poshmark or OfferUp, or if you have your shipping settings set up to use the TikTok label, then this is a more sustainable way to actually do it. Two examples of suppliers that this works well with are Amazon Prime and Walmart Plus, because they can deliver to most addresses within 1 to 3 days. And on TikTok Shop, like we covered, you need to ship out or have the shipping carrier scan the package in within 3 days of the order, or you run the risk of them canceling the order on you. Or you can actually drop ship directly to customers as well, and I get asked this all the time. To do this, you simply need to change your shipping settings in the back end of your TikTok shop, so you can use your own label and your own tracking numbers when you get the orders, and not the TikTok labels. This will allow you to see the customer's information and their address, which is something that's normally blurred out when you sign up normally and you don't change your shipping settings, and then you can drop ship the product directly to them, and then just input the tracking number that your supplier gives you into the TikTok order. To change your shipping settings in your TikTok shop, under the Orders tab, just go to Shipping Options and then select Seller Shipping, and don't use the TikTok shipping. This is the exact strategy that I use to dropship products from Amazon directly onto TikTok Shop, and how I get past the tracking issues that most dropshippers deal with when trying to sell here. So first, it's important to understand that if you want to dropship directly to customers using TikTok Shop, you need to change your shipping settings in the back end of your shop first. To do this, go to Orders on the left when you're in the back end of your shop, and then once you click that tab down, you'll see the shipping options. Click that, and that will take you to the page where you can then select the option to use the seller shipping and not the normal TikTok shipping labels. Because if you don't switch and you continue to use the TikTok shipping, then your customers' addresses will be blurred out when you get orders, so you won't know where to ship them, and you can't drop ship. Now, I made this mistake myself in the beginning, and that's how I know. But assuming you've switched it to seller shipping and you can now drop ship directly to your customers using TikTok Shop, you now don't need to hold any inventory yourself, because you can see their addresses to order to their specific location and person, and you can then input the tracking number directly from your supplier into that TikTok Shop order. Now, it's also important to understand TikTok's rules so you can do this properly without getting in trouble. On TikTok Shop, you need to ship the product out in 3 days, or your supplier does, obviously, and your products need to be delivered in under 11 days, assuming you've already changed your shipping template to use the economy shipping that grants you that 11 days. To do that, go to that same Orders tab on the left in the back end of your TikTok Shop, and then click Shipping Templates this time, right under that, and select your shipping template. You can now select whether you want to charge for shipping or not. You can also choose what shipping options your customer will have the option to pick from when they're checking out on your shop. This right here is where you'll want to choose that economy shipping. That will buy you the most potential time that you're allowed on TikTok Shop to get your products delivered to the customer. But obviously, if your product's delivered way ahead of that, it's fine and your customer will be happy. They'll also see that tracking number, so they'll know that it's supposed to be delivered in 3 days or 5 days or 7 days or whatever. But allowing yourself that 11-day window helps in case your supplier is slow, or for whatever reason your shipment is delayed, so always pick that. Now, because the longest amount of time that you can have to deliver your packages on TikTok Shop is only 11 days, I do not recommend dropshipping from any overseas suppliers like AliExpress. Now, if you're using AliExpress or somewhere like Zendrop where there's US warehouses and the shipping time fits those parameters, then it's fine. But if you're using overseas suppliers, it'll result in annoyed customers, canceled orders, and inevitably a suspended shop when your products aren't delivered fast enough or your tracking numbers can't be verified as delivered properly within that correct time frame. But none of this is a problem for me because I dropship from Amazon onto TikTok Shop. Now, in the beginning, I test with Amazon products because there's millions of products that you can choose from that have high quality product pictures that you can use and descriptions that you can also use. Plus, most of the higher rated products have at least a few review videos, which means I can test products quickly without needing to spend any money or any time creating UGC content myself, which I hate. And believe it or not, lots of them have even a dozen or even more sometimes product review videos on the actual listing, which is a TikTok Shop dropshippers dream. Now, Amazon is a great supplier for this because the shipping time to customers is often super fast, even without Prime. The quality is obviously good, so customers are happy, which means higher reviews for you, and that essential snowball effect, which will increase the conversion rate as newer customers come and hit your landing page as well and see all those reviews. And one of my favorite reasons for using Amazon is if I ever get a return, I know they'll honor a refund and I can always ship it back to them, so I'm never jumping through hoops trying to get my supplier to take a return back. Now, when you are dropshipping from Amazon, it's important to understand that you cannot use Amazon Prime if you're dropshipping directly to customers. You need to use a normal Amazon account without Prime, otherwise Amazon will suspend your Prime privileges for ordering to too many addresses at once. Another issue a lot of dropshippers face with both Amazon and Walmart as a supplier is using the tracking numbers. About half the time you'll get a UPS, a USPS, or a FedEx tracking number on your Amazon or your Walmart order or for whatever, and of course that's when you just then input that tracking number into your TikTok shop order. It's easy. But what if you get an Amazon TBA tracking number instead, and you're now stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you have no actual tracking number to input in your order? Now you're worried that TikTok's going to cancel your order, you won't get paid out, and you're out the money for the order. Well, TrackTaco has been my go-to solution for that for years. It is a game changer. It saved me literally thousands of times across dropshipping on Facebook Marketplace, dropshipping on Amazon, dropshipping on Mercari, and now dropshipping on TikTok Shop too. So typically when you have an order from somewhere like Amazon, as you can see here, oftentimes you'll get that UPS, that USPS, or that FedEx tracking number, and that makes it really easy to just copy that order and then also paste it right back into the TikTok Shop order. It's a no-brainer. It's super easy. But what happens, let's say on Amazon, if you dropship a product and you go to track the package here, and it says TBA tracking number, that's Amazon Logistics, and you can't put this number into any marketplace, let alone TikTok Shop, because A, that screams you drop shipped it from Amazon, and also B, TBA tracking numbers are not an option to input as a carrier on these marketplaces. So what do? Well, in this case, I just use TrackTaco, so I'll go back to the order. In this case, this person lives in Malibu, California. You go to the track package, it will tell you, this one was already delivered, but it will tell you the estimated delivery date, so it will say like estimated delivered on, today's the 16th, and when I'm recording this, let's say it said estimated delivery on the 18th of January, right? So then I would take this, like I said, they live in Malibu, California. It's estimated to be delivered on the 18th of January, so I'm going to say Malibu, California. I need a tracking number that's going to be delivered to Malibu, California on the 18th of January, or preferably a day or two later than that if I can get one. Now, if you can't, it's totally fine. Just get the delivered date. But if not, get a day or two later, just in case the carrier is a little bit slower or it's delayed. Because if your customer gets the package delivered before the estimated delivery date on their end, when they're looking at their order, they're going to be happy, right? It's like, oh, it showed up fast. There's going to be no issues. But if you mark it delivered on the 18th for whatever reason, and, for whatever reason, Amazon's slower delivering it and it's delayed a day, they're going to assume that they've gotten scammed or something along those lines because it says delivered on their TikTok Shop order, but it's not there. So trust me when I say if you can go a day or two later, do that. If not, it's not that big of a deal. It just might mean that you might have to message back and forth with them saying like, hey, just give it another day. It could be delayed. Doesn't happen often, but again, I like to preface it by saying because that is an issue when you do this enough that you might potentially run into from time to time. Not a big deal though. Now, what I'll do is I'll go to TrackTaco, which is my go-to software for this, dropshipping on every marketplace, but especially TikTok Shop lately. And where's it going? It's going to Malibu, California. So we're going to put Malibu in there, to CA, the abbreviation for California. The destination country is obviously the US. You can pick other countries as well. TrackTaco works with a lot of countries now. It's not just the US, but obviously I'm within the US. The date range here, so I'm going to pick a date that's on the 18th. We don't want to change it from delivered. You can pick in transit or delivered. So for example, if you forgot to put your tracking number in and need a tracking number that's marked delivered, you can just pick delivered and then take one of those and then input it in there so your package is marked delivered and you get credit for it and you get paid out on TikTok Shop because it's delivered, right? But in our case, for this order, we're going to go in transit. So Malibu, California, it's going to still be in transit, and we need something that's on the 18th or later. So I'm going to select the 18th or later, and it's going to show me all these specific delivery dates on the 18th or later to Malibu, California. Now, if I wanted to go a day later, I would say just pick 19th or later and see if there's any tracking numbers for that, and there is. So I'd probably pick one of these. I would then click Get TN, Get Tracking Number. It's going to cost you a credit, and bam, now you can copy the actual tracking number and input it into your TikTok Shop order. This has been a lifesaver, again, for TikTok Shop, but Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, any place that you're dropshipping from, can't recommend TrackTaco enough. It's a lifesaver. Now, if you do want credits, you can sign up and you can pick from one of their packages. Obviously, the more you buy at once, the cheaper it's going to end up being. So if you're just testing it out and you want to start with a $25 package for 100 credits, it's still super cheap per tracking number. But if you're doing this seriously and you're a serious dropshipper like I am, I always go for the 1,000 credits at once and just get the 25% bulk discount. You could even go more than that if you want, but I never personally have. The tracking numbers are cheap, regardless how you slice it, if you go for the $25 package or whatever. Now, let me give you another example from Amazon. So this one, okay, we did that one. Now, this person lives in Yorba Linda, California, and they ordered this, right? So again, if I click the tracking number and we track the package and they give me a TBA tracking number, well, I can't put that into TikTok Shop. So instead, what I would do is I'd go back to the order details. I'd go Yorba Linda, California. In this case, again, it was already delivered, but let's say that this one was estimated to be delivered on the 17th this time. So we'd go to Yorba Linda, California. We'd go back into TrackTaco. We'd pick Yorba Linda. we'd keep it California, and we'd go, okay, 17th or after, or in this case, we'd go 1 day later to see, and we'd say the 18th or after, and it's going to show us all the potential tracking numbers for the 18th or after. Now, if you do have a tracking number that's like way out into the future, like a week and a half, 2 weeks in the future, sometimes you won't get a tracking number, and that's totally fine. But the benefit of using this with TikTok Shop specifically is you have to deliver your products on TikTok Shop within that 11-day window, so you really won't run into this issue using TikTok Shop. It's not something like Facebook Marketplace or like even Shopify, for example, where like you can have shipping times that are like 2 weeks or more. You're not really going to run into that issue on TikTok Shop because, again, your packages need to be delivered within that 11-day window, so Track Taco is going to get you pretty much every single time. And if you do run into that issue, a little hack is, for example, like Yorba Linda. Let's say that this was like a week out and Yorba Linda didn't have any tracking numbers. Well, I would just pick the closest major city to Yorba Linda in California, knowing that there's a higher population in that major city that's close to Yorba Linda, California, and understanding that with that higher population, there's going to be a larger number of deliveries in the FedEx or UPS system that allows me to grab a tracking number from there and get one a lot easier. So that's a little hack. If for whatever reason you can't find it, just pick the largest city close to it, right? Now, again, the next option, obviously, we talked about date ranges. You can pick in transit, which is 99% of what you're going to use, or you can pick already delivered if you want that for whatever reason. You can also specifically, if you want to use FedEx, UPS, or DHL specifically, pick one of those two in the actual tab, and then it will only generate tracking numbers from that actual carrier if that's what you want for whatever reason. I always just keep it any because it doesn't really matter to me which one it's coming from, assuming obviously that your marketplace or wherever you're dropshipping on allows all of those things, right? If it doesn't allow DHL and there's no slot to put DHL in there, some of them that's the case, but not on TikTok Shop, then you just unselect that and you go FedEx or UPS, right? Now, you can also pick the earliest ship date. I never really use that because, again, I'm drop shipping, but it's just something that you can use if you want to. You can also select the shipment origin if you're drop shipping on somewhere like Amazon and you're freaking out that they're tracking where the actual shipment is originating from and shipping from. If you're worried about that, it hasn't been an issue for me over thousands of transactions on Amazon or anywhere else. But again, if you're freaking out about that, you can use that. You can also verify that it hasn't been tracked with Walmart, because a lot of times I always say don't drop ship from Walmart onto Amazon. But if you are doing that, you're going against my recommendation, then that's definitely something you'd want to click, because Amazon tracks those specific packages because they don't want people drop shipping from Walmart to Amazon. And so that's why that's there, just to kind of give you a little background on why that is there. You won't run into that issue because you're not stupid enough to try to do that. Like I said, you can also select the minimum and max weight, and then you can see the other tracking numbers that you've generated down there. Now, that's Track Taco. It doesn't just work with Amazon. Again, if for whatever reason you were doing it from Walmart and this gave you a DoorDash tracking number like Walmart tends to do, you would just do the same exact thing to that city, that state, a day or two after, preferably the delivery date estimated on Walmart, and then input it into your TikTok Shop order. That's been my secret for a while now, for thousands of transactions across pretty much every marketplace that I've dropshipped on, assuming that you can put your own tracking number into that order on that marketplace. So like, not like Poshmark, but pretty much every other one. It's not just for dropshipping from Amazon or from Walmart, though. You can use it from any supplier that doesn't give you a tracking number to input into your order. Just generate one to that city and that state that your customer is in on the day of the estimated delivery, or preferably a day or two later even, just in case the shipment is running late, and then bam, easy, you've got one in your order and you're good to go. I say a day or two later most times because sometimes shipment can be delayed, and if a tracking number in an order on, say, TikTok Shop is all of a sudden marked delivered and the customer gets notified but it's not there, you're going to have a headache and a problem on your hands. On the contrary, if you mark it a day or two later using Track Taco and it shows up a day or two before that estimated marked delivered date, the customer is just going to be happy and they're not going to realize it. So that's typically the way to go.